Okay, a warm good evening to everybody. I think we have a little time, but I think we'll make this as good as possible. I remember one quote from a noted advertising guru called David Ogilvy, who mentioned that, the customer isn't a moron, the customer is your wife. So delighting the customer is not enough, I feel. Customer has to experience ecstasy, and maybe my edge to it is that the customer needs to experience orgasm. So starting with that, I think we'll throw open this session to the panel. We'll dive straight into a couple of key questions which I would want to ask a few panel members. What are the top two areas that you focus in your organization to drive consumer delight and optimize growth as well as operations? So starting with Abhishek, I would want to understand from you, what are your views and what do you do in your organization?
Thanks, Mithun. Good evening, everyone. My name is Abhishek, and I represent a brand which is 90 plus year, old iconic brand, Lacoste. So two things, there are many things, but two most important thing, and what we believe is, one thing as customer, when you enter in the store, is what you expect is the warmth, that you are welcome to my store. And if you are able to call them with their name, even if you are not calling them with the name, but you are giving due attention to towards your customer, that is one thing I believe that is required. And that is one thing which is very, very important in our business or in our stores, wherein you actually address the customer by calling them either the name or the good morning or whatever that you want to call them. That's one. Second is the attention to detail. Probably this is one thing which is very, very common in our business. Whatever that we are doing, attention to detail is very much required. So what customer is asking, listen to it very carefully, give customer the space so that customer can choose, make the decision. And then when you are giving the due attention, whatever she is asking or he is asking, just listen to that and provide them the details that they want. I think these are the two key areas which we believe is very, very important in the store for a better customer service.
Sure. Kabir, what do you do with the burgers that you sell? And
So, our product is pretty much an impulse buy. What I mean by that is that very little loyalty when it comes to consumers in the QSR segment, right? That doesn't mean it's got no loyalty. There's very little loyalty. So there are 2-3 things that you need to kind of focus on with this whole loyalty situation in play. Somebody that walks into a store has a combination of, he's roaming around on the high street, he's hungry, and you are there, right? And therefore, the location is very important for all of us. And so there's a little bit of brand presence that you need to have. So there's Burger King, there's McDonald's, there's also Burger Singh. People should have heard of it. They'll walk inside. Now, once they've walked in this new age era, it's not just walking in, it's also deliveries, right? So with us, the two things that we really need to focus on is that the product needs to be good, which is not just good is a vague word. It needs to be tasty. It needs to be aggressively priced in India, and it needs to be consistent. The guy needs to get the same product every day so that he knows what to expect. There can't be very large variations on it. And in this whole era of Zomato and Swiggy, it has to be really quick, right? Your kitchen order time needs to be really, really quick in getting it out of the door. And there are two reasons for it also. One is, quicker food, quicker satisfaction. The guy knows what to expect. Secondly, the Indian consumer is probably one of the most impatient person out there, right? If the food is not there in 2-3 minutes, no matter how good the food is, the customer's experience is subpar, for lack of a better word. So the two things that we are focused on is khana acha hona chahiye and time pe milna chahiye. It's pretty much that.
yeah, sure. I think with food, product should, or rather anywhere, product plays a major role. Kapil, what are your views around, and what do you guys do in your organization?
Yeah, so first of all, let me just give a insight about the overall business where I come from a VIP innerwear prospects. And for us, there could be about two identification. One could be the end consumer, which we are talking about from a retail perspective. For that, I believe that most of the category, I mean, the category has been evolved to and transformed in number of years now. So most of the time, if you go to many of such MBO stores and all, you will find this category been actually now hidden category. Most of the products were always been shelved below the counters. So coming out with a retail perspective for the consumer delight now, the category has evolved to the level of attractive packaging, which has really captured the audience eye, and as well as assortments through the various colors. A consumer coming in now to a particular store will have the choices of experiencing various colors per se. Uh, but having spoken this, I feel that we basically are also into one of the most important uh, channel, which is our distribution channel also. So when I talk about the consumer, for me there would be always an end consumer and always a distribution, which is also a customer. And to have a delightful experience for a distribution setup, I think going forward, each and every product will have to be processed and shipped across. And as a company, what we give a insight is after sales service, which is very important. I mean, reaching the product to the distribution level is not the goal of any company, but I would say once the product is reached, our customer care service department, which we have internally adopted, we try to understand what could be the timelines, what could be the time cycle that the product has taken to reach the end consumer. Because once we realize that the channel within which the company and the end consumer, which is a retailer, is actually been defined, if the product is getting delayed in such kind of channel, then I would say the customer delight that we are talking about at the end level might also have less experience. So yeah, I mean, talking about two different mode of channel, as I said, the end consumer and one of the distribution channel, which is also customer for the company perspective. So I believe that the most experience of consumer delight could be for our category in innerwear could be obviously beautiful comfort to give consumer the comfort from inside where he can always feel comfort from outside. Yeah.
So it's no longer andar ki baat. You already told.
And it's also important that the size is available in the store.
Oh, exactly. Correct. So Kapil, so the distribution part is something you mentioned, but how does a product behave according to you? In what I mean is, you can't hear. No, over international competition, how does it really work right now? What I mean is from a brand which has got some background.
Okay. So you're talking about the product make?
Yeah.
Because the
No,
sound was not clear.
from a consumer perspective, what is the kind of behavior and this one? Just if you can just summarize.
So I would say that first of all, it's a beautiful experience that the consumer have evolved and traveled out of country, because the customer have definitely seen the international image, the international brand that has been available out of country. As an experience, most of the Indian consumers now, what we do is we try to get those kind of effect. For example, I would say you will find a lot of lyocell, a lot of cotton modal, these kind of fabrics getting evolved in international imagery terms. Those things have now started coming out in India as well. And at Indian price is very, very important, because India has definitely grown to the extent, and getting into the act of packaging, getting into the act of accessories, I think each and every product is particularly designed by our designers who are now based in Mumbai, based in India, and they are adopting to the international styles. I would say that yes, we as a company, we as a brand are definitely looking forward for giving our customers a look which is internationally, a look which is seen in global, but definitely at the Indian price points.
Sure, sure. So Karan, what do you guys focus on largely? Oh, sorry, Kapil.
Yeah.
So sorry.
Your question, please.
Kapil's here. You want to ask Nitin? Yeah, now it's Nitin.
Sorry. My apologies. Nitin, what are your views? Sorry.
So we represent TEAG, which is the entertainment and education group operating more than 350 venues across 7 countries in Asia Pac, Australia and New Zealand. Our guest is very, very informed. He's been traveling across and he knows and he's experienced what's there in Sydney, Melbourne, and then he comes to Rourkela, right? So for us, the two most important factors or our driving forces, as you can rightly say, is being guest obsessed, okay? That never say no. In your capacity, always try to be yes to the guest. And obviously, second is consistency. For us, as an indoor amusement chain and family entertainment center, we operate machines, games, products, and it's very easy maybe to buy them or to purchase them. But then the way that they have to operate across all these 7 countries with a consistency, I think that's very, very important for us. So for us, we really define the game entertainment values, and that's our driving force. And it is all aimed at being consistent to the guest who is well informed, and again driving consistency across. So I think these two factors are very, very important for us, and that's the sole reason that we are a preferred option, and we are becoming dominant by the day in terms of a guest willing to be awake at 800 hours in the morning, and when it's a $300 promotion on a Christmas day, when we open our venues across the country at 8 a.m., it's so glad and overwhelming for us to see that the guests have queued up. Not because they are taking a tangible product from us home, but they are investing on their cards for the next 1 year or time to come. Because somewhere they believe that if they've put in their money in this card, they're gonna get the value for it in the next 1 year. So I think that's our strength, and that's what we keep driving.
Sure. So I want to understand from Harpreet on how has customer experience really evolved over the years for you?
Sure. So I think, for us at the end of the day, I think many people from Bombay will be familiar with Tibbs Frankie. Yeah, and for Tibbs Frankie, I mean, people have only one request from us as part of the experience goes, khana garam hona chahiye, khana jaldi milna chahiye, and should be really the same taste. 55 years, so that's what we've really perfected now. We make sure the same taste is delivered to our customers. In fact, there are many old timers who come and actually tell the Frankie maker, yaar isko thoda aur kadak kar do, isme thoda aur masala dal do. Yeah, so you even provide that customization, and that's the kind of experience which is very, very one-on-one. Over a period of time, I think, people have stopped coming to the stores, leading very busy lives. We've got requests from people saying, how can I get hot Frankies served at home? So we've actually developed a model which is called the Tibbs Frankie Pop-Up. So regular guests, even if you have an outing in the house, a celebration, an anniversary, a get-together, and minimum, even if you have 50 guests, we've actually developed a kit. So our team actually travels to a consumer's home, and a Frankie maker actually prepares the Frankie hot. Because, it's all about, as I said, hot food, quick food, and make sure the quality is not compromised. So that's how we've evolved our customer experience by launching this new vertical. Within the store, very clearly, depending on the channel, our speed of delivery has been increasing. So if I take the metro store, we know that people want everything within less than 3 minutes. So a linear menu, a lot of science has gone into that, and we actually deliver a Frankie roll in less than 3 minutes. So depending on the channel, we've developed our menu options, we've trained our staff accordingly, and we make sure to delight consumers in every single channel, every single day. And I guess that's what's coming from the analytics that we have. We actually track consumer behavior very closely. We understand the kind of feedback we're getting, and that we use that to make sure that we're always on trend and launching stuff as per their preferences.
Have you also seen some, lately, have you seen some variations in the trends from what it used to be in terms of consumption?
Yeah, so I think, one big change that we're observing is we used to open a Frankie store in the morning at around about 10. We had a lot of college guys coming in to actually pick up a role. But I guess post-COVID, you're now seeing a lot of people tucked in bed early in the morning. Work from home is par for the course. And we're seeing late night deliveries actually increase tremendously. So we've seen our operation time shifting from 10 to noon, and we actually now operate till around about 4 in the morning. So that's one big trend that we are actually picking up. Second, I think very clearly in the past, you had consumers coming in as a family. I think now people are having different tastes and different preferences. So you now have the same family actually coming and saying, listen, I want this item and I want a second item. So for menu, we've actually expanded our menu. We've now got homegrown beverages that we provide out there. We provide a biryani out there for someone wanting a heavier dish. We've got some desserts out there. So making sure the different parts of the different members of the family actually can yet keep coming and enjoying a meal or a snack at the Tibbs Frankie stores.
Sure, sure. That's insightful. Mayank, what are your views?
Hi, I'm Mayank Mohan. I am a fourth generation entrepreneur. I represent Mohanlal's Sons, India's oldest retailer. So, over 143 years that we've been there, we've seen the customer evolve a lot. We started off, in the pre-independence era as tailors and drapers to, the Maharajas and the viceroys of that time. So the whole product offering and the customer service was completely personalized, truly bespoke. And then, post-independence, the customer changed to presidents, prime ministers, but the whole ready-made concept did not exist until, the 80s, early 90s, when the liberalization actually happened. Then as the customer change started, asking for more ready-made garments from us, we turned our business model around. We turned into the biggest sellers of Madura garments, Louis Phillips, Van Heusen, Arrow, Color Plus. We gave them what they were asking for, changed again the business offering. The customer experience used to be very different. We used to run a very popular loyalty program on which, every 7th garment that you would buy would be free. Again, and in the mid-2000s, we discovered it was not a very scalable model for us. So we again focused on our own brand. We transitioned into a men's celebration wear retailer. So now, in the current avatar, what we see is, we obviously 80% of what we sell is ready-made, but where we get the actual edge is the personalization bit of it. So what we also do a lot of bespoke tailoring. So, the customer again today after, they've again, instead of just fast fashion, they want a lot of personalization element. And that is where the bespoke tailoring, the service, and, the custom tailoring part of it comes in. And also today the customer is also looking for a lot of experiences. So, we focus a lot on activities within our store. So we do a couple of events throughout the year like Holi Milan and Diwali Milan. When we call people to the, all our regular customers to the stores, we do a tilak. There is festive music playing in the stores. We run special offers. We give gifts to everyone, no matter if they purchase or not. So we keep doing a lot of activities like this. Also, the customer today is much more digitally savvy as well. So, what we've done now is we have an app in the store, so the customer can come in. So our sales team is not only enabled to know whatever size, even if they don't have it in a particular store, they can check what the size is, but they can also check similar garments, any color, any MRP can be checked, like how you would do on say Amazon. So that kind of experience we're trying to give that within the store as well. It's still a work in progress, but that is something that is helping drive sales as well.
So, Santosh, what have you seen in terms of the trends in the last few years for you?
मेरा नाम संतोष त्यागी है और मैं फाउंडर एंड प्रमोटर घूमर रेस्टोरेंट्स। मिथुन, मेरे वाले केस में, घूमर के केस में हमारा मतलब मेन फोकस ही एक्सपीरियंस पे है, बिकॉज इट इज़ नॉट ए नीड बेस्ड रेस्टोरेंट, वी आर टोटली एक्सपीरियंस बेस्ड रेस्टोरेंट। तो चाहे वो फूड का हो, वी सर्व 24 आइटम्स इन ए थाली, तो स्टार्ट टू फिनिश इट्स अ टोटल एक्सपीरियंस टोटल। तो हमारे लिए सबसे ज़्यादा ज़रूरी होता है कि कस्टमर को कितनी जल्दी, कितना गर्म और कितनी क्विक सर्विस उसको मिल पाए, कि उसको बिल्कुल कुछ भी सोचना और मतलब जब वो आए तो हम उसको एक दामाद की तरह से ट्रीट करें कि भाई साहब आप बस बैठो एंड बस जस्ट एंजॉय एंड लीव योर कुछ भी कि मैंने छाछ पी लिया या कुछ भी जलेबी खा लिया या मैंने ऑर्डर कर दिया तो मुझे और एक्स्ट्रा चार्जेस देना पड़ेगा या कुछ भी, देयर इज़ अ वन चार्ज ओनली एंड उसके बाद जस्ट एक्सपीरियंस। सो मेरा टोटल घूमर का जो सक्सेस है टचवुड एंड जो कस्टमर का जो मेरे रेस्टोरेंट में पूरा फील है, दैट इज़ होल इज़ द एक्सपीरियंस बेस्ड। तो बाकी हम लोग बहुत कोशिश करते रहते हैं कि जैसे सर्दियाँ आती हैं तो हम लोग सूप सर्व करते हैं, गर्मियाँ आती हैं तो हम आमरस सर्व करते हैं, कुल्फ़ी सर्व करते हैं एंड एवरीथिंग इज़ होल एक्सपीरियंस। So that's why Ghoomar is getting so much success.
I think I like the damad ka thing. Maybe he's the David Ogilvy of India.
मतलब
He's
जैसे
given
हम
a
लोग
strong sentence. I think
जैसे
I'll improvise on that.
जैसे कस्टमर आता है तो उसको हम पगड़ी पहनाते हैं एंड बैठो आप आराम से एंड उसके बाद हाथ धुलाते हैं वहीं पे उसके हाथ धो। इट्स अ होल एक्सपीरियंस बेस्ड काइंड ऑफ ईटिंग।
Amazing.
Definitely.
Kapil, you had something to
No,
mention.
I feel I also agree to some other point. Very important aspect I feel is the consumer experience and the consumer delight that we all are talking about today from a retail perspective. And it will definitely keep on changing every day, every month, every period, every year, every season. So it's so important that the total experience, whether it's offline or whether it's online per se from a consumer's point of view, it all remains same from a product perspective. If I am a consumer from a online channel and if I'm buying the product and I'm buying the same product from a offline channel, the overall experience of using the product should be similar, somewhat similar, and that's how where the consumer delight and consumer experience might match.
Wonderful. So we have around 8 minutes left. So before we go to the next, this one, are there any questions from the audience? If there is anything specific? Amazing. So we have some more time. Okay. So to the panel, what is that one trend or one thing that you think in the future will change when you want to delight the customer? What is that one thing that you think will change from now? Or one most important, rather, let me just take it as future most important. Like, I was just reading up somewhere that, the newest invention after electricity, steam engine is AI. That's going to be as big. But in consumer delight, is there something that you think there is beyond? Yes, Santosh ji.
सी मैं कस्टमर के बिहेव में बहुत ज़्यादा क्लोजली वॉच कर रहा हूँ। दे आर नाउ एक्सपेक्टिंग मोर एंड मोर कि भाई ये तो हो गया और क्या हो सकता है और क्या दे सकते हो, मतलब
No, are you saying value in terms of और क्या और variations?
नहीं,
What are
मतलब
they?
और एक्सपीरियंस क्या दे सकते हो। और जैसे मेरे यहाँ लोग आते हैं तो मेरे यहाँ बहुत सारी पिक्चर्स लेते हैं, बहुत फोटोज़ लेते हैं। अब उसी के कस्टमर बेस एक्सपीरियंस पे मैंने 2-3 साल स्टडी करके अब मैं नया कॉन्सेप्ट लेके आ रहा हूँ, दैट इज़ घूमर विलेज। तो उसमें मैंने क्या ऐड किया है कि बहुत सारा फूड तो होगा ही होगा, उसके साथ में एंटरटेनमेंट होगा। तो जो मान लो कोई जो हम एक विलेज काइंड ऑफ एक्सपीरियंस हम उसको हम छोड़ते जा रहे हैं, भूलते जा रहे हैं। जैसे फॉर एग्जांपल अगर आपको एक बिस्लरी पानी में मतलब मिनरल वाटर में अगर आइस का चुस्की का गोला मिल जाए विद रबड़ी डाल के, तो आई एम श्योर कि वो लोगों को 20-20 साल एक्सपीरियंस हो गया होगा कि नहीं वो मिला हो। तो वो सब चीज़ों को एक साथ में ला के फिर उस ट्रेडिशनल फोक डांसेस, पपेट शोज, ये वो करके एंड इन सिंगल वन चार्ज, नथिंग विल बी चार्ज इनसाइड। तो वो दैट इज होल एक्सपीरियंस बेसिस काइंड ऑफ थिंग।
Sure.
तो दैट इज पीपल आर एक्सपेक्टिंग फ्रॉम अस कि हम कुछ और नया दें, कुछ और अच्छा करें, कुछ नया चीज़ दें। That is,
I think you're basically saying multiple experiences at the same cost.
Definitely.
People
are expecting.
To push core business.
Also, I think, going forward, power of storytelling will be very important. अब Gen Z की अगर बात करो, तो storytelling really plays a big part. It's still a work in progress. हम समझना चाह रहे हैं Gen Z के इस बारे में, but storytelling really works. If you tell them a good story, what your brand represents for, so that will become very important going forward. And again, as I mentioned before, the whole aspect of personalization. Something that if the customer feels उसके लिए कुछ unique चीज़ हो रही है, जो सिर्फ उसके लिए और किसी और के लिए नहीं है. If you can give that experience, give that product, give that service offering, that will be a big differentiator, especially going forward.
I think that personalization point is very critical because I think there was a study, again, I was reading up, which was done. They said that the three top trends in that personalization is one of the most biggest trend of the future. Personalization, efficiency, and responsive support. Those three were internationally the most trending.
Of course, as in, I think this is getting a real trend where people are really asking for personalization. So if in case one is purchasing a bag and if in case you are giving them the bag with the name printed or their name printed on that bag, this is kind of giving them a connect with the brand too. So this is one thing which is really picking up. And what is that you have exclusively for me, which I can tell stories. So as Mayank was saying, I can tell my story too. So if you are giving me a bag, so if I'm giving a Lacoste bag with your name printed on it, you can show this and you can tell your own story that, okay, I have a bag which has my name printed on it. If in case you're traveling to a city and if in case I can give you a Taj Mahal printed on your polo, this is something which is kind of a very exclusive to you and you can tell stories around it. So this personalization is really one thing which is picking up for sure.
I think, very clearly, consumers spoil for choice. I think today we're finding it's going to become more and more difficult in the future to attract people to our stores. And very clearly, product innovation will actually have to move to a very different level. Today you see many people launching new flavors, new bases, new ingredients coming in. We're hearing about the millet story. But I think very clearly people are asking, what next? And as you said about experiences, somewhere in the food, we'll have to figure out how can food bring alive that experience also. Because I fundamentally believe if the food and you don't really make sure you hit the right taste bud, people are not going to come to your restaurant as much as experiences that you want. And therefore, how can you create the right kind of drama in the food? How can you create the right kind of story in the food? And if you can really innovate on that dimension, I believe that's what consumers are going to seek. And I think that could be a driver of choice between brands doing well and brands not doing well. So that's the way I'm at least seeing it.
See, what's important to understand is that this entire approach of calling him a customer has to change. When you talk about customer, it's like very transactional. He came to your store and he asked for something and you gave it to him in lieu of the cash that you got, and that's the end of this relationship, right? But when you start treating him like a guest who comes at your home and you ensure that he's going with a smile and keeps coming back again. Because you always, Atithi Devo Bhava, you want these people to keep coming back again. I think the reason for him to keep coming back again to you, I think will be very important. For example, we have the largest bowling setup in the country. We operate more than 200 bowling lanes. Now, we proudly say that we are not for the professional people. We say that we are there for the amateurs. But because, and that's the reason where some part of your business will get into experience and not only profits. So while bowling is priced at a specific rates, on a Thursday, between 6 to 9 p.m. or till the end of the day, it is at 99. Why 99? We aren't making money at 99. We can't even maintain those bowling lanes at 99. But why 99? Because this 99 is enabling so many families, so many amateurs, which otherwise would not have even thought of picking up this bowling ball and trying their hands out. They're coming and trying it, right? There's something for them to come on a Tuesday. There's something for them to come on a Friday. There's something for them to come on a Thursday. So basically, it's a guest that you are treating. You're wanting him to come to your venue, and you're giving him many, many reasons to come. I think this is what it has to move out from a transactional level.
Sure, I think that's also a relevant point. I think it's once it's imbibed within you from a thought perspective itself, then I think that also shows with what you do. I think we are at the close of the session, and I am happy that we are well within the time. And I would want to summarize with one interesting quote I just read up some time ago by A. Williams. I think this summarizes nearly everything that we wanted to speak. Is that the first step in exceeding customer expectations is to know their expectations. I think that is very critical, and it really resounded well with me, because most often as brands we all go after what we think is right and do it, but knowing the expectation, delving deep into what they really want, and trying to move from just delighting them to creating that ecstasy is the most important thing. And I hope the audience had a good time listening out to us. And we have 11 seconds, and so we're good. Yeah, so we're good.
Thank you.